Hello, I'm Justin Hill, prize-winning author and creator of Worlds with Words, and welcome to 2022. And for my Advent series, I did the 25 books that made me, and it was so hard. All the books I had to leave out. There was just so many. I wanted to mention a few of them. I think Alfred Duggan was one of the first historical novelists my dad gave me. I think The King of Athelney. And I revisited it as a kind of adult, and it's a very different style of historical fiction than we write now, but it's a great rendition of Alfred the Great, and fabulous book. Of course, my sagas, King Harold saga, I loved that King Harold, and this I got for my birthday in 1985, and it didn't survive the research process for Viking Fire. But another great book. One book that I love, The Morval Hours, by Catherine Swift, who she's I think a medieval librarian who ended up creating her own garden. Anyway, the sense of kind of history and landscape and place. I'm learning about myself as I describe these places. Roberto Colaso, The Marriage of Cadmus and Harmony. I've read this a couple of times, and I don't think I still quite understand it all, but it's just brilliant. It's a kind of rendition of Greek myths, and it's a non-fiction book, which is brilliant. Robert Graves, Goodbye to All That. This is the account of his First World War life, and my impression of Robert Graves entirely changed by this. I can imagine him as a kind of Oxford aesthete, and I love this because he talks about being in the trenches and Beowulf speaking to him more clearly than any other kind of poetry of the kind of the soldiers in their hall waiting for battle or waiting for Grendel to come. It was very much like being in the First World War. Another Italian writer, Alexandra Borico, Silk. This book was written in prose poetry, shorts. Each chapter is super short. Brilliant book. I tried to write a book like this, and it's still unfinished. Another Marquez, Chronicle of a Death Foretold. This is non-fiction and just so brilliant. It tells you what happens at the very beginning. I'm running out of time now, so I'm going to bang through some of the other ones. The War of Powers. I don't know if anyone. This is kind of a Terry Pratchett-esque, but much more adult and serious series of books. The Sword of Shannara, Tolkien lookalike. And last of all, Peter Fleming, Bond, the writer's brother, a much better writer who travelled in China. So these are some of the other books that made me.